Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode. Today in this video, I just wanted to talk about what does that phrase actually mean? You might be the only Bible that some people might see. Let's break it down and let's talk about it. Most of the people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis, they're not going to go to church, right? They're not going to go out of their way to go to church. So how are they going to hear about the gospel, learn about the love of God, know about Jesus? Quite simply, through you, right? The book of your name. So like the book of Tyler, the book of Rebecca, the book of Ryan. It's through you. Believe it or not, but non-Christians and non-believers, they're going to look at you to see if what you say you believe is reflected in your actions and your behavior. Do you practice what you preach? That's why I just want to remind you to be the light in this world. It's not just a cliche saying or you're just preaching to the choir. Be the light. But in reality, honestly, right? We never know what kind of battle someone is going to be facing. Our teacher, our coworker, our relative, our neighbor, we don't know. They might be going through a turmoil in their relationship, possibly a divorce. Maybe one of their family members is battling or dealing with a terminal illness. They're going through crippling amounts of debt. And ultimately, they might be having a bad day. But if you shower them with light, love, and compassion and goodness, that might be what they need the most to show them what it truly means to be a follower of Jesus, which is through sympathy and compassion. You know, Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 to 16 goes like this, right? You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. I'm going to say it again. Allow your actions to preach louder than your words. Practice what you preach. This is going to get real deep real quick. Some people might even get offended. Some people might even click thumbs down right now. But listen to these questions and answer them softly to yourself, right? Do you worship political beliefs more than the love of humanity? Do you worship idols, commentators, podcasters more than the gospel? Do you have more energy invested into political commentary than in God's people? When we consume this type of content and it fills our hearts with hatred, disgust, and outrage, how can we show love to our neighbors and especially towards our enemies? How do we show compassion to those that are not like us, with the opposite theology or with opposing views in life? If you say that you love your neighbors, yet you hate or disregard or have disdain towards a certain group of people, aren't you just a hypocrite? How do those types of actions relate toward kingdom building efforts? Aren't they designed to be alienating and dividing rather than uniting and cooperating? If you are a Christian, but you live in a way that says otherwise, by constantly being rude, being mean, being racist, being hateful, don't you think that that's gonna turn people away from Christianity? I'm just saying, right? Our actions have consequences. So I want to talk about my personal experience with the whole, you might be the only Bible some people will ever read or see, right? So I was in a video collaboration with Jubilee, which is a pretty big YouTube media channel, and they do like social experiments. They do like games with people. They do like the middle ground, like the left versus the right, and etc., right? And to get everyone's opinions to see how they're alike more so than different. And basically I applied and I auditioned to be in a video with Jubilee, and I got picked. which was a pleasant surprise. And the thing is, they don't really tell you what they're going to be filming about beforehand, right? So I walked in to the film session with no agenda except picking out my outfit the day before, like it's the first day of school or something, because I wanted to look good, because potentially the video was going to be seen by millions of people, whereas here only a handful of people are ever going to see this video. So I didn't know what we were going to be filming, and it ended up being a Monopoly game where it was played with real money with a bunch of strangers, including me. Now, I'm not going to ruin the video for you because I think it's actually an entertaining watch, and you'll see that the Amos that you see in that video is the same one that you see right here. But here are some of the comments that were left on the video by viewers who have no idea who I am. And the thing is, when I see these kind words about myself, I feel happy, but in reality, I also feel a tremendous amount of guilt, because for the longest time and for a majority of my life, I always had this never back down mindset. Like if someone were to ever insult me, I never hesitated in insulting them right back, right? I always fought fire with fire, and it's not a good trait. It's in those heat of the moments where I lose sight of how to be the light. And it's something that I'm working on, where when I'm frustrated or if something bad happens to me, how can I in that very moment be the light instead of darkness? So let's talk about the application, just moving on real quick from that sentence. I get it, right? Sometimes it's difficult in a professional or corporate setting. I've been there. So how do we apply this in our day-to-day life? Well, first and foremost, I think we should start with those that are closest to us, right? Start with your family. The way that you talk to your children, the relatives, the way that you treat your spouse, the way that you are involved with your relatives. And moving on from the family level, the way that you handle your affairs at work. Do you treat your coworkers with love, patience, understanding, and sympathy? Or are you guilty of always being quick to anger, to be annoyed by any requests, to be quick to judge? Like real talk, are you a beacon of light in the office, or are you of the world? By our love for others, people will know that we are disciples of Jesus through love. That's how they're going to see Jesus. It's not going to be through hatred, violence, or politics, but it's going to be through love. See, Proverbs chapter 27, verse 19 says this, right? As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. So whatever our heart is filled with, right? It's going to manifest itself in our outward actions. And in my opinion, this is true. Because think about it, right? If you are angry all day, from the moment that you wake up, you're just looking for problems. You're already irritated because you slept late last night and you need to wake up early to get to work on time, and you only got 2 hours of sleep. You're annoyed, you're frustrated, you're irritated, you're angry. How are we going to be able to show kindness in the heat of the moment if we're in that state of mind from morning to lunchtime to afternoon to the evening? When we live that way, it's easier to react with anger, to let it pour out from our hearts, because that's what it's filled with. So the point that I'm trying to get at is, that's why it's so important to truly change the heart, to transform it and to fill it with Jesus, with positivity, with love, with compassion, understanding, patience, everything that embodies Jesus. That's what we need to fill our hearts with more. So here's the summary. Many non-believers are not going to willingly go to church out of the blue. They might, but more often than not, they're not. And they're not going to just pick up a Bible, because statistically, more people are not reading these days. You know this ain't no lie. There's more people scrolling on TikTok than there are people enjoying a nice book. So, it's up to us as Christians to show them what the Bible teaches us by living it out, especially the teachings of Jesus in the Gospels, right? Don't just preach the Bible, but alongside it, make sure that your actions speak louder than your words. Are you actually a kind person? Do you actually forgive people? Do you actually care about others? Give your full effort and try your hardest to not be a hypocrite. Just like what this channel is all about, right? It's about planting seeds of faith into every interaction. Random people across the internet might see my video for a second or for an hour. Seeds are planted. It might not bloom right there and then, but sometimes the planted seeds could grow later on. So the question we have to ask ourselves, deep in our own hearts, and I want you to be honest with yourself, right? You can lie to everybody around this world, but you truly can't lie to yourself because you know who you are. Your deepest problems, your deepest concerns, your biggest victories, your biggest wishes, hopes, ambitions, your biggest loves. Do we actually follow the teachings of Jesus, or do we just say that we do and our actions show otherwise? And what does our heart truly look like? Because our life is just a reflection of what our heart is filled with. And it's something that I'm trying to work on as well. I feel like right now I'm at a point in my life where my heart is kind of like 50-50. There's a half side to it where it wants to do good, to be love, and to show people what it means to be the light. And then the other half, I have like this flesh side of me where it shows disregard, a nonchalant attitude towards others, and where I get frustrated and annoyed. So I know that this isn't an easy ask, because I know most people are probably similar to me, right? We all are battling and struggling to be better people. But just understand that that's step one. Some people will not ever have this type of conversation, and they will just live their lives out thinking they're good, but their hearts are just rotten, dirty, and just filled with evil. But step one is recognizing like where you are and where you need to go so that you can make progress and changes and ultimately transform your heart and fill it with Jesus. So hopefully this video didn't offend you too much, but I just felt like I needed to talk about this because I see it all over the place, right? You might be the only Bible some people will ever read, but I wanted to break it down and to explain it in a way where the light bulb goes off and says, I see what that means, and I see what changes I need to do so that people can see the Bible through my actions. Anyways, I hope you have a good day and a good, blessed rest of your week. I'll talk to you next time.